have somebody in the Thursday night game. Nobody knows if we do. We're gonna have to
counter, of course, that we're not ignoring the regular prayer times. What we're doing is we're making sure that the minimum requirement of certain prayers, like the Shema prayer, are actually recorded and actually recited within the mandated time. But the fuller prayer is really only recited perhaps a little bit later than the traditional time, but it's recited with kavanah, with intention and with meaning, and that's far more valuable. They argue that another element that contributed to the separation, this fissuring, fracturing of the community, was that the Hasidim were adopting a different prayer right. That the Ari,
this guy sucks hot. I hope he has negative
Rabbi Isaac Luria,
I hope this motherfucker has
the 16th
negative
century, and this was distinct from the prayer book that was used by the Misnagdim. Again, if you were a Martian landing on the planet and you asked someone, can you please explain to me what's the difference between Hasidim and Misnagdim, and you would show him, we assume this Martian is a him, I don't know what pronouns they would use, but you show him the regular sitter and the Ari sitter, and he would say, well, it's not a huge amount of difference here. The percentage of words that are different or in different places are I'm guessing, single-digit percentages. Is it really that huge a difference? And of course, they would say the Martian heretic, right? Because it does mean a lot. But the Misnagdim had an issue with the Hasidim for changing the right of players. There's a more significant issue. And by the way, I'm not going to make a big deal out of this, but Ben Sion Dinur really did dig deeper into each of these issues to look at the economic roots of all of these shifts and how that had implications for the revenue streams that were generated by the Jewish population, and more significantly, to whom did those streams flow? Did they flow to the traditional rabbi who may have received his position there as a result of bribing a Polish nobleman? Or did they flow to this charismatic, popular Hasidic rabbi who received his position by popular assent, particularly in the early 18th century? So one of those most taxed issues was kosher slaughter, right? Because when you have a kosher meat produced, and there's taxes that have to be paid to cover the supervision and things like that, and also they want all animals when they're slaughtered are slaughtered correctly, or they turn out to be healthy enough to be consumed for kosher stipulations. So that means an element of loss for the kosher butcher. What is he supposed to do? So that's why there's a huge tax applied to try and offset those costs. So the Hasidim and the Misnagdim differed on a fairly fine point of Jewish law regarding the sharpness of the blade that is used to slaughter the animal. If it is too dull, then it requires the slaughterer to forcibly push on the animal's neck with more pressure than is appropriate, and that causes the animal more pain. But the thing is, if you make the knife too thin, you sharpen it too much, that even the slightest thing, if it hits the table incorrectly or something, that can cause a tiny nick, which would rip the neck of the animal rather than slice it, and as a result, that would also cause the animal pain, and these have implications for whether or not the animal is kosher. So the Hasidim and Misnagdim disagreed to the degree at which the knife was honed, and therefore Hasidim said, well, we really, since we differ, we need a separate shochet, we need a separate slaughterer, ritual slaughter to prepare our meat, and that, of course, has implications for the revenue stream. One of the charges laid at the feet of the Hasidim by the Misnagdim was that they disregarded the study of the Talmud, that they were so deeply involved in the ethereal wisdom of the Kabbalah that they weren't studying the Talmud as deeply as they should. This is probably true for the early period, especially because, as I've described, the nature of the distribution of higher education in the Jewish world at that time. But certainly as you go through the 19th century,